next 20 minutes, we'll discuss how to celebrate life. I'm going to give you 4 steps. And once you follow these 4 steps and you live with the 4 steps, you'll be able to celebrate life every single moment of your existence. So first step is to understand your belonging in this world. Belonging means that you realize we are in this world, we have a material body, and we have an awareness about our surroundings. And this comes through acceptance and love. Whatever your situation is, acceptance and love of the belonging that you have in this world is, I'm not going to get too deep because I want to give you a broad view of how this works. Because in this world, we are constantly fighting and resisting everything that we are, that is given to us in our environment and our surroundings. So accepting things as they are and not trying to change the world so you can fit into the world. So finding your space in this world. So the second step is the narrative. And that means, what story is your mind telling you every single day? If you can control that narrative, what your mind tells you every single day, understanding that you and your mind, there is a huge disparity, huge gap. And the mind is constantly telling you, you're happy, you're sad, you're annoyed, you are taking a shower, you're eating, you're walking. The mind is constantly controlling the narrative of your life. So instead of your mind controlling the narrative of your life and the directions and the actions in your life, you are controlling the narrative. You are telling the mind stories instead of the mind telling you stories. So you have to be the one that's telling the stories and controlling the narrative and not your mind. And then the third important principle is to make sure that your life has a purpose. If your life does not have a meaning, and you have spent your whole life working on finding more and more means to address your material prosperity without addressing the meaning or the purpose of life. And once we have a purpose in our life, once we have meaning in our life, every day you will wake up so energized, so enthusiastic, so excited, and look forward to life every single day. If you don't have meaning and if you don't have purpose in your life, you woke up and your mind will tell you a story and it will drag you down and you will start to get depleted. Energy is depleted. You don't have a drive to do anything. You're not excited about life. That's why in life, if you have meaning in life and not just means, which means you have a purpose as to why you are here. What is your personal individual contribution to this world? Everyone has a unique personal strength that they contribute to the world.
Parce que
There's
chaque à notre...
something unique that you contribute to the world, and that is your purpose. And then the next step, the fourth layer, fourth step to this practice of celebrating life is making sure you practice something called transcendence. Transcendence means you are using your material existence to connect to a higher plane of life, and thereby transcending your material existence into the spiritual existence. That means it is no longer just about you. It's about the entire universe and how you're going to change and impact your relationship with the divine. So these are the 4 steps to celebrating life. If you follow these 4 steps, you will be able to celebrate life at every minute and every day of your life. It is explained that it is somewhat foolish that we spend all our life collecting and accumulating things and relationships that we cannot take with us? Why not work for something that you can take with you when you live this world? And when we live our life for things that we can take with us to the next life, that is celebrating life. What's the point of working so hard and making millions and billions of dollars that you can't take with you? There's only one lifetime and it's very flickering. But if we cultivate these principles of spiritual life, then not only we will celebrate this life, but we'll celebrate eternally.
Et si
It's
nous
called
cultivons,
eternal life. So I just want to quickly recap. The first one we discussed was belonging. That means accepting. It's the environment that we're living in, that we accept whatever is coming our way. We understand that there is a divine plan and we accept. And we
donc le,
accept it lovingly, because the environment will change you if we do not understand how the environment is truly connected with the divine, and we learn the art of acceptance with love. And the second point we discussed was how to control the narrative. There is this constant storytelling that is going on, that our mind is telling us hundreds of different stories. When you learn the art of telling the mind the story instead of the mind telling you the story, is our point number 2. And the third step was to have meaning or purpose in life. That means we're using our strengths to serve others and to
ce qui,
serve the divine. And the fourth one is transcendence, which means understanding our limitations and understanding the infinite, boundaryless divine, and making a connection and engaging in that relationship. And using one's limitations and connecting to the unlimited, the divine, and engaging in that relationship. So if we practice and we can address these 4 dimensions, the 4 points that I made out, you'll be able to celebrate life eternally in this life and in the next and forever. So when I talk about belonging or acceptance, I don't talk about situations. Fabian, you are born looking a certain way. You have certain face, certain body, certain hair. You're born in a certain country. We come into this world with a unique set of features that if we don't accept, we'll fight for the rest of our life to try and change it and get frustrated and eventually just be so sad and depressed that,
dans
we're not
cette,
happy with who we are. For example, we know Michael Jackson, for example. He spent so much money and so much of his resources to change the way he looks. It almost feels like he was he was so unhappy with who he was, and he fought it and he fought it till he was completely made of plastic and his body would just melt away. We cannot change our mothers and fathers. We cannot change our brothers and sisters. Can we go and tell our father, I want to change you up, I need a different father? So that understanding that belonging has to come once we understand that we come into this world a certain way with certain looks, certain limitations, and we accept that
donc
in this life, I'm going to be 5 feet tall, and I will have a bald head or whatever it is. We just accept whatever is given to us, The reason I'm saying this, Fabian, you'll notice in the world, they spent, I think, trillions of dollars. I forget the exact statistics, but I think it was almost about $2 trillion globally on just cosmetics just to change the outlook of people's features. So much time and energy. If you give, I was telling this in another discussion before, that we are literally spending all our time and energy to make money, to buy an identity, defying the gift of identity that has already been given to us in this world. This is called being silly, that, we don't accept who we are, what we are, why. So that is what I mean, that, that acceptance, it has to come with whoever we are, whatever color, whatever shape, whatever size, we come in, we accept, and the limitations that we have, we cannot control the weather. We cannot control, very limited control. Only in our house we can control. The minute we get out of the house, we can't control the environment. So why not accept that there is some higher powers? Let them do their business and we do our business. Say we went to India, to Rishikesh, we only had visa for 1 month. So we only get to enjoy for 1 month. Let us celebrate for 1 month. We have a visa in this material world, maybe 50 years, 60 years. Celebrate life. Every day you should celebrate life, not be fighting it and resisting it and trying to change it. And there is very little you can change outside, but there is everything you can change inside. The reason I know it, because I go and lecture in a university, and before I go into the university, they do an orientation to teach me how there is 11 genders and how to use the pronouns for them. And I cannot remember all of them. So I said, can I use one pronoun for everybody? So then they said, yes, then you can only say they. For everyone, I say they. So this is a serious problem in the world. In America, there is a lawsuit being filed against the government healthcare systems because people want the government healthcare to pay for their sex change. So, but let me tell you, what are my realizations and what I understand from the yoga text. We have been continuously evolving as society, trying to find our individual identity. We forget who we are, what we are, and we have lost our value because we don't know who we are. And how can you know who you are if you don't have your value? So there is a tussle between value and identity. So in the US, there is large number of people who have had a sex change, gender change, and now they want to reverse back. So as I was explaining in my previous, just a few minutes ago, is that we are buying identities at every junction in our life. We are constantly, when we eat something, we go to the shop and we want to buy something to eat. We are buying something because we have seen it somewhere, we have heard of it somewhere, we have seen a commercial, or someone fed us. It is an idea of what is right that is given to us by someone, and we go ahead and we spend our hard-earned money to buy that identity. The clothes that we wear, the colognes that we use, the cars that we drive. It is all about identity. If you drive a Tesla, you're considered to be, green person. Why do you have a membership to country club? Because it gives you an identity, a status. You buy a car, you can buy any car, but why do you go buy a Rolls Royce? Why do you go buy a Bentley? Why do you go buy a Maserati? Is buying an identity. This is my status. Why do everybody in the world want to go buy Belgium chocolate? Because it's a status symbol, the best chocolate. So I only eat Belgium chocolate because that's my status. Why do I use an iPhone? Because it is my status symbol. It is my identity. I am a cool guy. Why do we buy Dolce and Gabbana as our handbags? So everything that we use in our lives, it is our hard-earned money to buy an identity that is not us. From the shoes we wear to the clothes that we wear, the jackets, the sunglasses, the bags, and what kind of shampoo we use on our bald head, everything is using your hard-earned money to buy an identity that is not you. So capitalism, society that is driven by consumers, it's so aggressive and so competitive that people are forgetting who they are. And just to find a sense of belonging, there's new genders being created up because it is so cool. I am something new. You know, my gender is the 16th gender, and it's like super cool because no one has this gender and only like 100 people in the world. So it's such a cool identity to have. So this is one side, but there are also genuine chemical imbalances in the world. As we go through mental imbalance, there's a tremendous chemical imbalance in the world. So obviously there's going to be boys who are going to have more female chemicals and vice versa. As the society advances, there's going to be more and more imbalances. In America, there is a big problem where children are hitting puberty when they're 7 years old and 8 years old and 9 years old. Because the Food and Drug Administration, you know, they will make so many different foods to feed these kids, and their body's chemical maturity is coming way faster. So there is a gap between the growth of the body and the emotions. Emotionally, they're still a 9-year-old, but their body chemically is already an adult, ready to have a baby when they're 9 years old. So it's a very scary thing because, you know, as society approaches forward, the imbalances become more and more dominant. So we have to, as yogis, we have to become very conscious of this and see how we can connect back to more and more and more and more to Mother Nature. We accept everybody as who they are and what they are, and we love them and appreciate them. But we have to really keep in mind that as society advances, we are creating a huge disparity in our physical and emotional growth and spiritual growth, because we are fighting against the laws of material nature, against Mother Earth. And so all of these reactions are coming up. But we should not get worried because this is the nature of the world. We just have to love and embrace everybody for who they are and accept them as what they are.